Hi, beautiful Libra. This is Mary Ellen, coming to you from Moonrise Cottage for your September 2017 Soul Tarot reading. For all of the returning viewers, welcome. I'm so eager to connect with you, and I'm really grateful for your presence. Apologies because I get so excited. I forget to say thank you. It's really wonderful to have your accompaniment on this journey that we're on together, and it means a lot to me. So post a clips. I just wanted to make sure to say that to everybody. If you're new here, welcome. It's wonderful to have you here. I'm a clairvoyant person, and I am doing basically channeled messages using the cards as illustration for the messages that come to me from the spirit world. And I made a commitment at the beginning of the year when some changes were happening in my own life. So I'm thrilled to be here. I use the beautiful Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck by Caitlin Matthews. It's phenomenal. And I always start with a little bit of housekeeping. So announcements are a reminder that if you want a personal reading, or any of the channel information that you're looking for, scroll down below the video. You'll see the phrase show more. Just click on it. That's actually a tab, even though it's not highlighted. And a huge box opens up. There's a lot of information there. My contact information, if you scroll to the bottom, my email is there. If you want a reading, all the information about the readings and the pricing and the PayPal link to make your payment reservation, everything's right there, okay? If you are in Australia or in India or South Africa, don't worry about it. I've never had a problem connecting with people. I do my readings via Skype. It seems to work the best, so just a heads up about that. I am going to be in Ireland in the middle of September for about 3 or 4 weeks. I am offering personal readings while I'm there. The booking for those readings will close on the 5th of September. So if you want to meet me in person, please send me an email right away and book your reading, and I'll get back to you within a couple days. Let's see, live streaming update. I've been promising live stream. I am going to do it, but what I'm discovering is my sweet little computer is just too old. Believe it or not, it's 10 years old, and it has served me just fine, but it's actually starting to die. And as I've been exploring live stream options, I'm finding out my computer won't support that. So I am doing a manifesting exercise for myself. I'm asking you to join me, and I'm making a fundraising appeal for a new computer so I can continue this work. So I've been working actively on manifesting, and it's interesting. Lots of things are showing up. And the Mercury retrograde isn't even over yet. So I know that means, based on my experience with manifesting, I know that means that the law of attraction energy is working. Things are coming to me. So I am postponing the purchase of the computer until after Mercury retrograde is over. And I'm asking for your help. Here's what I realized. If you folks, anyone who's able and willing to donate $35 or more to my computer fund, I will automatically put you in the subscription for the live feed. It's a 12-month subscription, renewable annually. I set $35 as the price because I wanted it to be, cheap, basically. I want everyone to be able to do it, if possible. So I figured about half the cost of an hour reading, and you'll be able to access any or all live stream, plus the videos that come. If you can't make the live stream, those videos will be posted. I'm not sure what platform I'm going to do it on yet. I'm working on that. So I'm going to buy a Mac, and I'm asking for your help. I'm hoping that is enough of a symbiotic exchange that feels good to everyone. So you can either just make a donation wherever your heart is leading you, Spirit is saying, or you can sign up for the live stream. It'll have the same effect for me in terms of raising the funds to buy the computer. So I'm looking forward to the live stream. Once I get the September videos out, I'm going to make a video just to talk about the live stream and sort of where we're going to start and how that's going to go along, given the information that's coming through to me. Okay? So, Libra, let's jump in. My gosh, what an incredible month that I'm looking forward to for all of us. The eclipse was phenomenal. I hope you had a wonderful day on the eclipse. I've heard from a lot of folks. Amazing things happened everywhere. I'm here in the United States, so it was very impactful for us. And, you know, when it comes to the reading, the channeled information that's coming through is that asking me to speak about the initiation process that all souls have been through, leading up to and through, Spirit says, these two sets of eclipses in 2017. The first came in February, and there are some videos on my channel. There's a playlist now with eclipse videos. So if you haven't seen them, it's probably a good idea to go and watch those. And I always remind people, you know, go check out last month's video at minimum, and some of the others if you're new, because these readings build upon each other. They're not standalone like most readings are. It's a story, Spirit says, that's unfolding about our soul destiny, and that's why I'm here. Okay, so sitting on the top is the message from Spirit. The discussion that Spirit would like to have with you, and what Spirit's saying would like you to have inside your being as you progress through the month of September, preparing for these last couple months of the year in order to finish the work that this year was destined to bring forward, Spirit says. So this is really beautiful. This is the King of Knowledge. Look at that. That's a beautiful card. The colors in this card indicate having come through a lot of transformation, and yet you see the green? That means new growth is still arriving. That's what Spirit is saying. There's abundance. There's the cup. Notice Spirit saying the set point of this individual. You know, and I haven't said this in a while, but please look past the gender in the image. This is about your set point. It's not about that there's a man and, you know, it's Spirit says look beyond that. It's about the sensation inside of yourself and the place where you reside. All right? Gender issues aside, Spirit says. So, you know, the King of Knowledge sits in a place of abundance because of the knowledge that he has gained. And Spirit says he's beneficent. And you know, Libra, it's funny because I was thinking about you when I got up out of bed this morning. I was having some dreams and thoughts about the Libra journey and the power that you have inside of you because of your ability and your desire to bring balance and to see what needs to be seen, Spirit says. And that's what this, that's interesting, Spirit just said, that's what this entity has the ability to do. So coming through the eclipse, you gained an enormous amount of knowledge, Spirit says self-knowledge, and continued your journey as a spiritual warrior, as an initiate of these eclipses and what they were meant to bring forward here on the earth. Right? You know what's funny? Spirit's talking to me about this. I'm just going to move it. I don't know if you can. All right. Spirit wants me to hold it up. There you go. Isn't that beautiful? Spirit says it's about that in some way. So I'm just going to put it on top of the cards there for the reading. I hope that you can see it a little bit. All right. So this is the theme. This is you in this, within this theme, in the aspect having come through, and there it is. the eclipse at the full moon. All right, see that gruesome scene? I'll talk about it in a moment. This is the adventure of knowledge. So going through this reading, that's what Spirit wants to talk with you about. The adventure that you're on. With the knowledge that you've gained about yourself as a human being and as a spirit being walking through a human adventure. Oh, that's interesting. Thank you, Spirit. There you go. Okay. So this adventure that you're having. This card is about a young man who did go through a portal. His Spirit's talking about the Lionsgate portal that opened very clearly. This young man was taking part in a tradition on All Souls Day, just after Halloween. There was a tradition, to go take a rope and go into the town gallows and put the rope around the corpse, just to sort of prove that you had the cojones to do it. And it was a ritual about facing death. And Spirit's saying, facing the difficulties of humanity. And that's what your spirit walk is going to be about. And Spirit says, has been about coming through the portal. Spirit says there was a lot on your heart and a lot on your mind. So this is also, before I forget to say it, this is about, there was a positive outcome. It looks gruesome. It's really scary to look at. But there's a positive outcome to this card. And it took time. And I think that's why Spirit's talking about through the end of the year. Some months unfolded, a season unfolded before the story depicted in this card played out. And so that's what Spirit wants to talk with you about through this reading. That he had to go on this adventure with the knowledge that he had. And basically, he went out to do this task. It was like a dare. If you were able to do it, you got a little prize, a little bit of money from the king. Which is interesting that the king is here. So Spirit says, keep that in mind as the channeled information comes out. So he did this. He went out. He did the task. When he stepped into the field, he had a vision. And the vision that he had was of the city burning. He lived in a fort, and it was burning to the ground. He crossed over into the netherworlds, to the land of the fairies. And he was met there by a woman, Spirit says, a fairy banshee. And she helped him. And they crossed back and forth between two worlds. He was able to come back to this place to sound the warning. That's what a banshee does. And to prevent this outcome. So it took a while, but they went back and forth, and eventually they created an alliance, and they were betrothed and married, and he chose to go back to the land of the fairies and live out his days there. So, Spirit's chattering about the eclipse and the travel and the journey that we had as spirit beings back and forth across the world, across the veil, during the days of the eclipse, when there's just, this is kind of what's going on in the earth. It's depending on how you look at it. I don't want to be extraordinarily negative, but the negative things that are happening here are this disturbing, Spirit says. And certainly we know it to be true. So going through this eclipse, going into this tunnel, Spirit says, into the portal, in order to discover our ability within ourselves to travel as a spirit being walking in a human body in order to affect a positive outcome to the things that are happening here. It's an adventure, to be sure, Spirit says. Okay? So, this row on the bottom, for new folks, this is your human walk. And look at that. Clearly, once again, that's about the eclipse that just happened. Spirit's talking with you about the Lionsgate portal. And the fact that you stayed in the eclipse, in the energy of the portal, for an extended visit that was very deep in order to have this sacred dialogue, this artful dialogue with Spirit. during the eclipse. That is Merlin and his sister, and they were very devoted to each other during their lifetimes. And she actually built him this dwelling in order for him to be able to see in all directions and have the light of the moon illuminate his life so that he could sit in the stream of that light and the knowledge that came through. And if you see him, he's transforming. They are communicating telepathically. It is also significant that it is, Spirit says, it's a yin and yang situation. So you are coming in closer contact with those two halves of yourself. And this has been coming through me a lot since the beginning of the year, it's really time for us as beings to understand the deep knowledge that comes through the archetypes and avail ourselves of that and rejoin each other in this way. Because going forward, that is where the power comes from. That's what's coming through. At least for you as a Libra. And look, obviously it's about balance. Spirit's talking in the background about your nature and what it means to balance your nature. Having come through these eclipses with the changes that are happening because of that, you seem to be resting deeper in your nature. It's really beautiful. All right, so let's see. And look. All right, so this is beautiful. This is the Warrior of Skill. This has come through a lot of the readings. And, if you have some curiosity, go and look at your rising sign and your moon sign, and you'll see how similar these messages are. That is the Warrior of Skill. That beautiful male archetypical energy. This is about responding to sacred impulse. This warrior has magic in his hands. He's holding his power. That's what the staff represents. And he has the power of movement. And what Spirit's been saying since the eclipse, actually, this is new information that hasn't come through me before regarding this card. Spirit's been saying this white horse is demonstrating the power and the purity of your internal impulse and the ability to move it forward. And so as a warrior of skill, you literally stand in this beautiful, mystical twilight moment and wait for sacred impulse to come. And then you jump on your horse and you ride straight into it. So this is the kind of adventure that you're going to experience inside your being. You're going to feel impulses. You're going to feel your desires, your spiritual desires about being here in the world, which is why this card is below this. This adventure of knowledge, now that you've gained all this knowledge, coming through 2017 to this moment, balancing in this beautiful way, under the light of the eclipse, in the tunnel. Spirit keeps telling me, in the tunnel, meaning the portals. All right? I think I try not to get into astrology because I'm not an astrologer. Clearly, I look at it, I find it fascinating and a wonderful way of knowing, if you will. So, what's coming through about this is this adventure. The warrior of skill has adventures with the knowledge inside of him, based on the sacred impulse that he receives. That's what it is. Thank you, Spirit. All right. Having come through the portal and still being aligned with that energy, and Spirit says filled with that sacred impulse, this is going to carry you through the rest of the year, and we're going to hear some more stories about that, Spirit says. This is your energy now. This is how you're standing in your own life. It's beautiful. And also, a lot of male energy on the table, joined and balanced by the female archetype. But the energy of impulse that comes from the male archetype is what is most prominently, at least so far, at work in your life now. Which is, and there's another beautiful woman. Look at that. So, this is the woman of knowledge, sitting below the king of knowledge and the adventure of knowledge. This message has also been coming out through this beautiful woman. She is a healer. She has the beautiful midnight blue garment of the universe. And you see all the light? Spirit's telling me the light that came through, the light of knowledge that came through the eclipse of the sun. That's what's coming through. So we see her depicted as a blonde-haired Caucasian lady. Spirit always says, don't limit yourself. Understand the illustrations. Each part of these illustrations has knowledge in it for you. So this is about a being who has light about their head. Their thought process is illuminated in golden light. And what she is doing is picking herbs and flowers for healing. And she is actually literally picking them from a gravestone. And they are growing up out of the bones of the person who's buried there. So Spirit's asking me to do this. So, as the readings come out, please look at the cards in relationship to each other as they sit on the table and as these themes come out. I try to keep my videos to 30 minutes, which is a challenge. I could talk for hours about these readings. That's why I'm going to do the live stream. I want to be able to talk to people and make myself available a little deeper. I need your support to be able to do that. So, without getting drawn into that topic again, her brother was a healer. He actually did perform some magical healing on a king. Someone was jealous, and that someone murdered him. And even in his death, he continued to perform healing. And Spirit's chattering about the history of human society and all the things. And that's an elderflower. It's been coming out in one of the other cards. So, used for healing for hundreds of years. This woman has come across a sacred journey, just as we all have done, together. Spirit's talking to me about humanity. Having come across the mountains, meaning through these portals, in our own heart-soul destiny. This is where our heart-mind resides at this moment. That's what's coming through from Spirit. And Libra, you have an intense amount of power to bring this energy here to this realm and just walk with it in your day-to-day life. People talk with me a lot about feeling stuck and feeling unable and feeling not ready, and Spirit wants everyone to know you can let those fears go. There is nothing in particular that you need to do, although there are many things you could do. One of the most important things is to walk in this energy and this knowledge, and that is why the King of Knowledge is here, bonding with the Woman of Knowledge. This is the kind of knowledge the Spirit wants you to understand. You can perform healing just by radiating the energy that you hold inside of you. It's beautiful. So let's see what the bridge card is. Ah, look at that. Wow. Okay. So, skills are being revealed to you. And it's interesting because the things we've been talking about, this is a magical girl made of flowers. The river of life flows beside her. There is an obstacle in her path. It's a little bit illustrative of the story of the card, so I'll tell it briefly. She was in a situation, was betrothed to someone she didn't want to be betrothed to. And instead of using the magical power that she had, Spirit's telling me to hold this up, she chose to do something violent and deceitful. And it did solve her problem, but it caused someone's death. And Spirit's saying it is the knowledge of this situation that you hold in your heart and mind that is causing you to take the journey that you're on. And it's causing you to be on the bridge. This is the bridge you walk across. Your understanding of this situation. So, when she did the things she did, Spirit's saying the nefarious things she did, she was turned into an owl and banished into the forest. Spirit knows that you're spending a certain amount of your time and energy worrying about the situation here. That's why the King is here and the Woman of Knowledge, to help you understand that all you need to do is follow your sacred impulse. That is how we change the world. And apparently that's what's on your heart mind this month. Spirit says you are doing a great job. Be who you are. The power that lies within you is is the gift that you have to help with the healing that needs to happen. It's interesting. I'm feeling a lot of energy. Spirit's talking a lot in the background about your heart and how it feels and how difficult it is. Okay, so this revelation of skill is sitting next to the adventure of knowledge. So there's a journey that you are going on in this way. You've been on a journey. You have been, your journey has deepened because of the eclipses, all right? So this is the first card. Look at that. In the spirit line. That's the Queen of Knowledge. I always get a little choked up when the energy gets really intense. Okay, so, you know, the reading's deepening. Spirit wants me to do that, to illustrate for you so you understand. The King and Queen of Knowledge are here, along with the Woman of Knowledge, the healer. So, here's what's coming through. There's the King. You sitting on this throne of knowledge in this earthly realm, having this adventure with the assistance of Spirit because of these portals that have opened and the sacred impulses that fill you, and the impulses about creating healing and shift and change. Utilizing the power that comes through those who have passed before and all those traumas, and your ability to utilize that knowledge inside of you to prevent more obstacles from arising. That's what this is about. And as you take that human journey, the spiritual journey that your soul is on is being received by the Queen of Knowledge, who utilizes the energy. You see, she's got the same garment as this lady. She sits suspended in the universe. And what she's actually doing is weaving. It looks like a harp, but she's weaving the threads of our destiny. And the efforts and the healing and the understanding and the knowledge and the adventure that you are on, that energy is received deep across the universe, and it helps weave the tapestry and the destiny of humanity. Isn't that beautiful? That's the first card on the spirit realm. Very intense. Spirit says, intensely beautiful. Being corrected. All right, and look. That's what I was talking about. Here's the purpose. That's a major arcana card. That's the spinner. And the full name of the card is the Spinner of Growth. And there's the Tree of Life. Taking in, on the spirit realm, that energy that comes from this earthly realm. Respirating in and out. All the things that feed it, that give it light, Spirit says. And taking up that light as a form of energy, a tree sends out seeds. And so you are creating the winds of change, flowing out from your nature. That's what Spirit was talking about. Okay, Spirit wants me to show you this. You know, from your nature. Whoops, and this one. There you go. That's your nature. Absolutely. And you know, you can continue to use this energy, Spirit says, on the cycles of the moon through the end of the year, because next year things are going to shift again, and we're going to be onto a whole new pattern, and I'm very excited. I'm already getting information about that, so I'll be excited to be here with you, God willing, to talk about it. All right, Libra? Spirit says, this is your natal set point. That's interesting, isn't it? So, when the new moon comes, it's a moment of illumination. It's a moment of culmination. Make sure you use, pardon me, I said new moon, I meant full moon. So, Spirit's chattering in the background about the cycles of the moon. make sure you understand the meaning of the various cycles and set points of the moon as it goes through the month and utilize them. So go and look on YouTube or wherever you find that information and learn a little bit about that if you don't know. Because your sacred impulses are going to come in those cycles in various ways. And it will help you to understand that information so that you can help heal this realm. That's what we're doing. You know, those of us that are here on the channel, millions of other people that we don't know about, but we still are connected with them. And what we do and what we think and how we walk blows the winds of change. And the seeds of healing come from within us through the energy that we reflect just by walking down the street. Spirit's been talking through me about that a lot. And there we go. So, the revelation. There are 2 revelation cards on the table. And a lot of information about sacred impulse and healing. So this is the revelation of skill, and this is the revelation of battle. This is about the moment that arises when we surrender. You know, and what the things I was saying about anxiety, depression, fear, the horrible things that we see around us. The heart chakra wounding that we experience when we see those things. And in that moment, we surrender. And Spirit says that's the process that's happening on the earth now. And there's an acknowledgement about how deeply you feel this way when you think about what happens in the world, because you just want balance and justice and purity. So in this moment, when humanity begins to surrender, we transform. You see the blue? You see how deep she goes across the veil? She's surrendering, Spirit says, because this moment is so horrific for her. And she begins to transform and align herself with Spirit very deeply. Very, very deeply. And the real nature of the battle and what it meant and the purpose of it begins to be revealed to her on a spiritual basis. This card came out in, I'm a Virgo, came out in my reading at the beginning of the year, and it was 100% true. I was experiencing the death of a part of my life. And in that moment, I began to transform my thought process about what was possible. And I ended up here on YouTube. And it changed my life in a way that was profoundly beautiful. So Spirit's nudging me to talk about that a little bit. In order to get the correct message through, Spirit says, and again, if you see this line, okay, it's about the healing and revealing to us as a group of beings these battles and the purpose of them here on earth to help us continue our journey and do that which is meant for us. All right, so let me move this out of the way. And it's interesting that the light has shifted, and look, the outcome, I was going to say, the outcome card, you can't see it, I'll hold it up, is bathed in light. Metaphorically, I love that. So look at that. That's a prophecy. The augury of art. See that woman? Spirit wants me to show you. That's what I was taught. That's why Spirit was asking me to chatter about my own journey. Here's what happens. Okay, we have this moment, and it brings us to this. That's exactly what happened for me. I stood in my life, answering the prophecy of my own clairvoyant abilities, and finally stepping into what I knew was my destiny. The sacred cauldron of all abundance, out of which comes the spiral of our own lives, turning. And look, there's the shining city. Remember we saw the one that was burning? Look at that one. Whole, shining, filled with the light of the sun in the background. And there we are, manifesting. Isn't that interesting? I love how these things come out. Right? So, it's been a little scary for me to ask people to send me money. That's not an easy thing for me to do. But we have to join together, Spirit says, to manifest what we want. And so, Libra, as I've been saying throughout this reading, this is the energy that you bring to the collective. The augury of art, it's a brand new set point, a numeral 1, and it is a prophecy about what is coming to you and your abilities to use your energy to manifest that which we desire, the type of life we want. Peace, harmony, love, tranquility, abundance in all forms, Spirit says. And this young woman is standing before the sacred cauldron. Spirit says, see, she's raising her hands in surrender. And now she raises her hands because she's come through. Spirit wants me to show you that. She's come across her journey. And she has the ability to utilize the energy that is within her to attract what she wants from the source. Isn't that a beautiful outcome? Libra, I'm going to pick from the bag of runes for you. Spirit says make sure you go and check out last month just so you have a reference point. What are the messages for Libra? Going forward through the month of September, having come through the eclipses. I always read right from the book because I don't feel it's my place to interpret the runes, okay? So that's the rune of journey. Let me just grab it from the floor. Pardon me. There it is. Okay? Love it. All right, Spirit says put it here. This is the journey Spirit's talking about, okay? Facing our humanity and allowing our deeper spiritual impulses to create the growth we want. And these are the things that assist you in this month. All right, so give me just a sec. I'll flip through the pages. There it is. Look at that. Union and reunion, communication, journey. Isn't that beautiful? This rune is concerned with communication, with attunement of something that has two sides, two elements. And with the ultimate union, Spirit wanted me to show you that again. All right. With the ultimate union that comes at the end of the journey, when what is above and what is below are of one mind. Isn't that interesting? That's what came through these portals. That's the type of information that's coming out in the September readings. Inner worth mounts. And at such a time, you are not intended to rely entirely upon your own power. Instead, ask what constitutes right action. Ask through prayer or meditation, through addressing the witness self, the teacher within. Once you are clear, you can neutralize your refusal to let right action flow through you. Not intent on movement, be content to wait. And while you wait, keep on removing resistances. As the obstructions give way, all remorse arising from trying to make things happen disappears. Isn't that interesting? The journey is towards self-healing, self-change, and union. You are concerned here with nothing less than unobstructed, perfect union. Look, there's the obstruction. That's your bridge to the spirit realm. This is the journey very clearly. Thank you, Spirit, for backing it up with the rune. I always feel appreciative. But the union of heaven and earth cannot be forced. Regulate any excess in your life. Material advantages must not weigh heavily on this journey of the self toward the self. Stand apart, even from like-minded others. The notion of strength in numbers does not apply at such a time. For this part of the journey, the soul's journey, cannot be shared. This is one of the cycle runes. It carries within its form the rune of joy. For now the end is in sight. You are no longer burdened by what you've left behind. Heaven above and earth below unite within you to support you on your way. A simple prayer for the soul's journey is this: I will to thy will. Such a prayer of intention is proper on any occasion and is particularly appropriate as a preamble to healing. That's a beautiful message, Libra. Clearly, that helps round out the information about your set point in this moment as you go through September. And I realize the sun is shining through. Have a wonderful month. Thank you for listening. I'll be eager to speak with you and to hear about your eclipse journeys and the information that has come to you through these portals that have opened. Send me a couple notes on the message thread below the video. And cross your fingers. Send me some energy for manifesting. Join me in that effort. I'm hoping, I'm stepping out on a limb. I'm going to try to do maybe the first live stream while I'm in Ireland. And I'm just going to send it out there on that vibration and ask Spirit and you folks to help me manifest that. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you next month.